Hey, how y'all doing? This is your host, Brianna, and this is the Socks Off podcast. Welcome. Hope your socks are actually off. Before I dive into this topic, make sure to follow me on Instagram at the Socks Off podcast X, because somebody stole my name. Make sure to follow me on TikTok at the Socks Off podcast. Nobody saw my name there. And then follow me on Instagram and TikTok at http.brianax. Okay, follow my sister for baked goods at Cakes in a Row on TikTok, and then at cakes.in-a-row on Instagram. Now let's just get into this juicy topic. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine, because the other audio was a bit low. Had to put some modifications to that, but gosh, I'm a little bit sick today. Not even a little bit, I'm very much sick today. The other day I was just like scrolling through TikTok and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get into the audiovisual game for my podcast. Like, hello. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm sick, I begin to just feel so nauseous. I have 0 to none of an appetite. Like, I'm eating because, I know I'm meant to be eating, but I could go the whole day without eating because I just feel so sick. Like, oh my god, it's horrible. I don't even think I had dinner yesterday because I just felt so sick. I couldn't even be asked to go and make myself something quick. I'm being dramatic, I know I am. Like, it's not the end of the world, I'll be fine, but I just hope, throughout the rest of this year I don't get sick again. And then next year, I'm only sick like once. Anyways, so, what have I been up to? Last week, my sister and I went to a film event. This was a Dailies and Cakes in a Row partnership. Again, if you're stalking me, you'll know, like, Cakes in a Row and Dailies, we do collaborations every now and then. My sister gives out snacks during these events, and we just watch good films. And sorry if I sound so, like, lackluster, guys. I literally feel like I'm dying. Anyway, so what film did we watch? We watched the film Girls Will Be Girls. I have a lot of thoughts on that, because my sister was like, why don't you just do a podcast episode reviewing it? And funnily enough, the day that I will be releasing this episode is the day that the film will be officially released, I think here, because I went to go watch the movie premiere. But Girls Will Be Girls, how did I find it? What's it about? Let's get into it. A quick summary. In the film, we've got a girl called Mira, and she is in this, like, boarding school situation. She lives in India. She's basically like a head girl, with the teachers around her and just her elders telling her, you need to, like, set an example to the rest of the school because you're head girl. This girl is growing up. I'm gonna assume she's like 16. She's coming of age. When you just start developing sexual feelings. You look at that guy, you're like, I want a piece of you. Yeah, that's what Mira's going through. Her elders are starting to clock on, like, okay. She is growing up, which I just think is so interesting. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? But because she's head girl, she's not gonna look at a guy and be like, oh yeah, I want a piece of him. Like, what I think is so funny in this film, the elders are so hypocritical. Like, do not tell me that you were at that age where you looked at a guy, you're like, oh my god, like, you developed sexual feelings, and you're telling her to just put that to the side, and she's like made to feel guilty about it. But Mira is in boarding school. She's the head girl. She needs to set an example, and this boarding school is strict as fuck. She's got this wishy-washy mum. One moment her mum is super friendly. I'm pretty sure we've all met aunties like this, or if we haven't met aunties like this, we have them in our own home and we call them mother. Okay, your mum or your auntie will be walking in, making it seem as if they're the outgoing type, the socialite, when in actuality, they're not that cool at home, they're weird as hell, and it's just a facade. So that's kind of like Mira's mum. She does certain things, but it's for her own benefit. It's never for her daughter, except this one time, but we'll get into that. Yeah, and where is her husband? Barely around. Always on, like, business ventures and this is tea, right? Whenever I just see this sort of storyline, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, your husband is not on a business venture. He's with his other family. Like, can we be so serious? Let me not get into that because that will hurt people's feelings. But that's always just been in the back of my mind. He's just always busy. He's on a business trip. Sure. Sure. Listen, a man has his needs, and men like food and sex and money. So he is getting his money. But after he gets his money, he's gonna want to eat. after he's gonna want to eat, he wants a good BJ. Like, let's all be so serious. Come on. Obviously I'm kidding. I'm not implying that if you have a parent like that in your household, that's what they're doing. But it could be a possibility. Like, don't rule it out. Just kidding. Relax. Okay, so the main bulk of the plot is that Mira meets this boy in her grade called Shri. Like, God! Like, you're just thinking about it now. Because I remember everyone in the cinema room was just like, basically when he started showing his true colours, we were all like, oh my God. Like, men will just be men. Boys will be boys. And I don't mean that in, like, elders will just brush it off and be like, oh, but boys will be boys. No. I mean this in, like, oh, of course you're going to do that. Because that's just such, like, a guy thing to do. Like, you fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? She develops a crush for this guy called Shri. And I can't lie. This guy is hella charming. I'm going to be so real. Niggas that do... It's the eye thing. Have you ever met a guy and he just does, like, the eye thing with you? And you're like, you know what you're doing. And that's charming as hell. You just know that they're going to manipulate the fuck out of you in the future. When they do that eye thing, beware. They're not doing it because it's them being cutesy. No, they're trying to lure you in. That's not flirting, that's luring you in. Well, in the film, I noticed that he was doing that eye thing a lot. You know, where, like, your eyes twinkle and sparkle. There's something sinister about that. Why are you doing this twinkling shit? But, like, there's a sinister aura to you. Something's not right here. So the film unravels and then Shri and Mira get to talk and whatever. Obviously Mira's mom finds out. She's like, I know you're talking to a boy. Don't lie to me. I know you're talking to a boy. And the way she, like, pulls her up on it, you only know because this is shit you were doing when you were her age. Like, you were doing the same shit when you were her age. I think it's kind of cute. But then she, like, steps in as a parent again. Strict all of a sudden. Which, I mean, I get. Because you need that boundary between being your daughter's best friend and then being her mother. I'm not a mum, so I can't talk on that. I guess I understand. That, like, I was literally scratching my head. I was like, I mean, I guess. But, like, are you punishing your daughter because she's talking to a boy? Or are you happy that she's talking to... Like, I don't get it. And then she was like, he just can't be, like, distracting your academics and stuff. So Shri comes around, meets the mum, and then the mum's just being hella sus, bro. Like, she's just being hella sus. Guys, I'm not even joking. Watch the trailer and tell me what you think. Like, the dynamic between Shri and the mum. Because when I was watching the trailer, I was like, what the fuck is this film about? Is the mum trying to steal her daughter's boyfriend? Like, is this what's going on? I'm just gonna skip ahead because I'm not gonna go in chronological order. There was this one scene where see over at Mira's house, but Mira's like, okay, cool, let's wake up at like 5 a.m. and then just study the whole day. And then he was like, yeah, sure, like, I'll wake up at 5. Why is the mum like, okay, he can sleep in my room? What? Sorry, guys, the way I was like, what the fuck? And obviously Mira being a teenager, she wanted to meet up with Shri during the night so they could do their little thing, you know. So the mum is like, yeah, she can sleep in my room, in my bed with me. Huh? You a grown woman. What are you doing with a little boy? What are you doing with a little boy? You are weird as fuck. I thought that was so strange. She, like, looked at Mira and was like, haha, like, try and fight me about it, bitch. Like, I'm your mum. I'm the one with authority. Like, go on, try and one up on me. I just found that so strange. And then there was also moments where she would, like, critique her mum behind her back. But it was mainly, like, she just needed someone to talk to about this. She couldn't obviously talk to her mum about this. And the only person that's, like, an actual witness to this is Shri himself. She goes to Shri, she's like, don't you think it's strange? You're having to, like, suck up to her and be nice to her. And she's, like, lapping it up. And then Shri says something so unsettling. He basically just baits out the fact that he's, like, using his charm with the mum to get close to Mira. And I was scratching my head. Even she was scratching her head. She was like, what? You're using my mum? And then he was like, well, yeah. And then she's like, right, you need to leave. And she breaks up with him. Certain topics that struck out to me: jealousy between generations. What I found was so interesting was that Mira's dad was, like, barely around, and when he was around, he wasn't showing love to his freaking wife. Where was the affection? Where was the love? It didn't make sense. And I'm like, see, this is why you have people like Mira's mom projecting and acting out towards their daughter, because people like you don't know how to show your wife love. But yeah, I think the jealousy stems from the fact that Mira's mum didn't really have that opportunity when she was younger to explore her sexuality in that capacity. Which is sad, but babes, you're a grown woman and this is a child just discovering this part of her life. Can you let her be? Because I'm not even joking, guys. Whenever she had the opportunity, she would interfere in their chemistry bonding, which didn't make sense to me, because if you were her mother, you'd be rooting for her, especially if you're letting the boy over. You obviously know that shit is going down and they're developing feelings for each other. Yeah, she would like always be interfering. She'd be like, oh, let me make you a cup of chai. And then her own daughter, she would make it, but she'd leave it in the other room so that the mum and Shri could be talking together. Like, what the fuck? And then she'd be like, oh, Mira, go and do this. And then it'd just be the mum and Shri talking to each other. And then just the mum, like, asking, like, kind of personal questions as if she was getting to know him. As if this was her talking stage. And I was like, babe, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what? You're not asking out of, like, you know, you're a parent and just curious to see who your daughter's dating. No, you're asking as if you want to fuck. It was so strange. It was so strange. It was like she was literally competing for this little boy's attention. But why? I found that so odd, because it's not like her and her daughter are age mates. So why are you actually competing with your daughter? There's a lot of jealousy between mothers and daughters, because I feel like Mira's mum definitely sees herself within Mira. She definitely sees like personality trait within her daughter and is like, oh my god, that is like so like me. She's literally a younger version of me. Instead of her to be admiring that and honouring that, it's kind of like a self-hate thing, because she sees a reflection of herself. She projects her insecurities onto this poor girl, tries to make it seem like she's better than this little girl, but that is your daughter. That's literally you. You should be loving her the same way you should love yourself. If the mother doesn't love herself, if she's not content with herself, if she's not happy with where she is in life, she will project that onto her daughter, because that is the most equivalent to you. That is literally a byproduct of you. And I like the way in the film they touched on that subject. Oh my god, another thing that I found interesting, Shri's like learning about the family dynamics, and then the mum's like, oh yeah, Mira thinks she's like her dad, but she's more like me. That clicked in my head. I was like, so you can see the similarities. And then Mira's obviously like denying it. She's like, no. I feel like the reason why Mira was like, ugh, no, and she was like denying it, is because she sees the side of her mum that the mum can't see, which is, I think, is so strange. Like, they both see sides of each other that they themselves can't see within themselves. Mira sees this side of her mum where she's contradicting, she can be negative, she can be jealous, she can be weird, and then Mira's mum sees this side of Mira where this is how I was when I was younger, but she's also her own person and she's coming of age. Mira's got like this proud, straightforward personality. She does not take bullshit. She has like this no tolerance sort of attitude. She's very confident within herself. For her mum, where she doesn't have that energy herself, that's where the insecurity is coming from. You see your daughter and you're like, oh my god, she is similar to me. However, this difference between her and I is that she's got this unspeakable amount of confidence that Mira's mum doesn't have. And I know that was definitely playing with her mental. Probably where a lot of the insecurity comes from is the fact that her daughter is just able to freely come into herself at such a young age. She herself couldn't do that. Again, if you see that your daughter's doing that, you should find inspiration from that. You should held her up, you should honour her, you should gas her up, but you're here basically dogging on her and just being a bit weird. I do want to say though, when it comes to like these sort of topics, it is quite easy to put the blame on the mother in the situation, make her look like the bad guy. Yes, in a sense, she was acting out in a very weird way, and it is easy to paint her as the villain, but she was also once a child, and she was also experiencing a similar situation when she was Mira's age, and she also had a villain arc character in her life like her. I think it's so interesting because there were moments where the mum was normal. My definition of normal is that she was being a girl's girl. She supported her daughter. She would take her daughter to the clothes shop. She's like, oh girl, like, this skirt looks nice on you. Make it a bit shorter. Like, wow, you look amazing. And I think that's just so cute. There's still that hint of, I guess, innocence in her. You can see that little girl inside of her, and she just needs comfort. And what I liked is that towards the end, Mira starts developing empathy for her mum, coming to that realization like, oh god, she's just a girl. Because she's an older woman, she doesn't really get that sort of ticket to be like, just relax and be like, she's just a girl. And I like that in that film, it's emphasized that older women go through shit too, but they also have that inner child in them. No matter what age you are, that inner child should always be comforted, especially when you're a girl in an environment like that where it's strict and you have all these rules pushed on you and you have all these expectations projected on you. She's just a girl. She's just a girl, especially Mira's mom growing up in the generation that she did. Because Mira, her time frame was in the 90s. So I'm assuming like the mom was like 70s or the 60s. So you can just imagine like growing up, being a teenager in those ages in India. That was probably not the best situation that she was put in. She definitely went through a lot of hardships, a bit more than Mira, because in the 90s, I'm assuming that it was a bit, well, not even assuming, it was obviously more progressive than it was in the 60s or 70s. And there was a part in the film where, this is like a very specific scene, but the boys in the film, the boys in the school would have their like Polaroid cameras, which, can I just say, I'm pretty sure Polaroids are fucking expensive. But let's get into this. So the girls would be going up the stairs, right? And then the boys would be at the bottom of the stairs taking photos of the girls, basically just upskirting them. That was their version of upskirting with their dirty ass Polaroid cameras. And they take photos of these girls going up the stairs. And Mira clocked. I was like, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. So she goes to her head of year, I don't know, she goes to the head of something, right? And she brings it up to this woman. She's like, oh my god, like, can you do something about this? Because that's wrong. That's weird as hell. And then the teacher's just looking at her, kind of baffed, but not baffed and like, oh my god, like, what the hell? Why are the boys doing this? Like, this is disgusting. She's looking at the girl. She's looking at Mira, baffed, like, okay. Like, not phased in the slightest. She's like, so tell the girls to put their skirt down. Tell the girls like they should be careful. And then Mira's like, did you just hear what I said? I said that the boys were taking Polaroid photos of the girls when they're going up the stairs, and you're telling me tell the girls pull the skirt. Like, you, as if, because she literally, this teacher had a whole assembly with the girls about how their skirts should be low or whatever. So all the girls do that. And the problem is that the girls should be careful. The girls should be careful. What? Mira was just not having that. She's like, no, like, you gotta do something. Come on, teacher. Like, I know you're very much with the boys will be boys, but come on. Like, a suspension or something. Like, something's gotta give. I don't remember if the boys actually got punished, but I do remember there was also a scene where it was Teachers' Day, where the students become the teachers and the teachers just like fuck off. And yeah, like, it's the oldest year, students become the teacher, and obviously she's Mira's principal because obviously she's the head girl. Again, no teachers present. It's the elders in the school that have complete control, which I think is fucking scary. No supervision whatsoever. Mad. Cool. In the morning, they obviously do like a pledge to be good student, whatever. The students obviously not following. They're not doing the pledge because, again, there's no teachers around. They can fuck about. They can do whatever they want. Please tell me why. I don't know if it's in this specific scene, but it's within the same time frame. The guys hear about Mira and her escapades with Shri, which, is it ever that deep? Is it ever that serious? She's just a girl. She's exploring herself. Why is it that big of a deal? Anyways, they hear about her escapades, and then they chase the poor girl down. And guys, I'm telling you, it's a bunch of niggas just chasing her. Like, I'm telling you, like, 10 plus. Maybe like 20, 30. Like, 20 guys chasing her. And she is bolting it. She is dashing and she is panicking for her life. And the way the camera is shaking, I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. It's like they're gonna rape her. Okay. Like, I was terrified for her. I was like, oh my god, like, I've never been in this situation. This is something that is like a figment of my imagination. Like, this is my worst nightmare. Like, just a batch of guys chasing me. To see that actually on the screen, I was petrified for her. I was just so terrified. Like, my heart was racing. I was like, oh my god, like, God forbid I'm ever in this situation, because what the fuck? What the fuck? What even drives you to do that? Why are you chasing the girl? I don't get it. Like, guys are so weird. Because if you were to ask them, why did you guys do that? They just stay quiet. But like, don't know. What? Huh? It's not normal. So anyways, she finds a room and she like locks herself in it, and these guys are banging on the door. Mira, come out. Mira, come out. We just want to talk to you. Mira, come out. Huh? And she's panicking, she's crying, and she's like calling her mom. She's like, I need you to come here ASAP. No Rocky. Drop everything you're doing, mom, and come here now. She is on her way. She's on it like a car bomb. She's like, say less, bet. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? The teacher, gets confronted by the mum. So the mum is like to the teacher, like, why is my daughter being chased by 20 fucking guys? Why is she being harassed by 20 fucking guys? As if they're trying to hunt her and eat her and do some dirty shit to her. Like, what the fuck is going on? Please tell me why. The guys have spun some next story. Listen to this, right? The guys are like, we just heard that Mira, was having sexual relations with Shri, and we just wanted to see if like she was okay and stuff, and we just thought that wasn't like of her character because she's head girl and it's not setting a good example. Huh? What the fuck has that got to do with anything? You lot are weird. You lot are actually tapped. So cool. The teacher brings that up to the mum, right? She's like, oh, but like your daughter was doing this, no? And you had Shri over. And then the mum was like, I will let whoever the fuck I want into my fucking house, bitch. That's none of your business. And I can tell you that for free. All they were just doing was studying. But even if they weren't doing that, why the fuck does that matter on school grounds when whatever the fuck they were doing was off school grounds? Why does that matter? And how does that explain the fact that my daughter is being harassed by 20 fucking guys and she's being chased? Like, guys, they were chasing her like she was the last thing to eat on planet Earth. Like, I'm not kidding. The way this girl was bawling her eyes out because would you not be scared? And she was running for her life. It was a stampede of them. I'm not kidding. If you watch the trailer, it's like towards the end, you'll just see her getting chased. That is that scene that I'm talking about. When you watch it in the film, please watch the film if you get a chance. It's out today. Girls Will Be Girls. Make sure you watch it. But oh my god, that put me through stress. I was stressed out, especially when the teacher said that bullshit excuse. I was like, are you fucking serious? So then obviously the mom clocks her. She reads her to filth, and she's like, she just reads her to filth in the most motherly way. She gathers her. She's like, yeah, my daughter and I are leaving. Bye, bitch. I think that was the most like heroic scene ever. I'm like, that is what a mother is supposed to do. Period. It almost made me forget about all the weird shit she was doing before in the film. I could definitely tell in that scene as well, when the mum was confronting the teacher, it wasn't just like passion because, oh my god, this is my daughter and no girl should be going through this. It was passion in the sense that she's gone through something like this, but she's done with bullshit excuses of defending men when they're clearly in the wrong. She's got a husband that's with his other family. No, I'm kidding. But she's just got a husband that's like barely around, barely like loves her and shit. And she's coming up with these bullshit excuses as to why she's not getting the affection that she needs. You know what? It's like, I think in that moment, she definitely like realised for herself, like, why are we making excuses for these guys? Like, especially when they are hurting us. I'm going to log off from this point. But yeah, that was my review on the film Girls Will Be Girls. I definitely want to delve more into these topics on like jealousy and generational trauma and like girlhood in ethnic families and in ethnic environments and the expectations and responsibilities that you hold as a girl. And yeah, this is your host, Brianna, on the Socks Off podcast. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you tune in for the next episode. And if you have any ideas on what you want me to talk about, just DM me on Instagram at the Socks Off podcast, XO. Follow me on TikTok at the Socks Off podcast, and then follow me on all my personal socials and my sister's business too. I'm just going to link it all down below. And yeah, hope you have a good day, evening, night, whenever you're listening to this. Bye.